What's going on, YouTube? My name is FG3000, back in the place to be, and welcome back to EverQuest 2. Now, I did you guys quite the disservice by releasing this video way later than I should have, but you know what? Better late than never. So, I get quite a few questions on EverQuest 2 on kind of how to start off in this game because it's not as straightforward as you think, and it's really kind of surprising to me to get so many questions on EverQuest 2. Considering how little views the game gets, and that's fine. This game is ancient. I totally get it. I'm not surprised. I only cover EverQuest 2 on this channel as kind of like a passion project because I just really enjoy the game. So it's not about the views, but it's kind of funny considering how little views they get and how many questions I get based off of that. It's just kind of odd, but it's always around, I can't, dude, the mobs are too hard. I don't know where to go. How do I level up in this game and at least get to the point where I can start doing dungeons like you show off in the video? So very good question. I'm glad I could help. So here we are. I am in a place called Darklight Wood. Now, in order for this to make sense, I kind of have to give you a quick history lesson, which you know I love to do. Now, back in the days when EverQuest 2 first came out, its newbie experience was quite disjointed. So back then, you had to go to like 4 or 5 newbie zones in order to get enough power to proceed to the next zone. So you would be like level 5 going back to do level 1 quests because the way the game was just set up, you had to go to multiple different newbie zones in order to have enough experience and enough gear in order to proceed to the next zone. Most MMOs these days are very linear. You go to one zone, once you're done with that zone, you have enough power for the next zone, etc, etc. Not back then. You had to repeat newbie zones quite often back in the days. So what they did midway through this game's life cycle is they created 2 brand new newbie zone experiences. One called the Darklight Wood for evil people, and another one called Hallis for the good side. So these new zones are superior to the old zones in every single way, from the quests, from the less backtracking, better placed mobs, I mean, better gear, better experience. Everything about these new newbie zones is better than the old newbie zones by far. It's not even close. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, FG, you just kind of, boom, I got it. If I'm gonna roll in the Fallen Gate server, I need to go to Hallis and I need to go to Darklight Wood. Nah, not so fast there, buddy. Not so fast. So what the problem is here is that Darklight Wood and Hallis are tuned for the live server. It's not tuned for the progression server. So what's gonna happen if you roll on one of these servers, you're gonna quickly find yourself under leveled, like guaranteed. You're gonna be like level 6 and all of your quests are gonna be like level 10 or 11. Now, if you have a friend and you're duoing or something like that, you won't have a problem. But if you're soloing, the questing is gonna become really hard. When they tell you to go kill 10 mobs and you're level 6 and the mobs are level 10, it's not gonna be a good experience. It's gonna be really frustrating. And I think a lot of people would quit, and I wouldn't blame them. And this is kind of the fault of the developers. They should have tweaked the mob levels in these zones a little bit better, because this is the new player experience that you want to show people. And it's really quite unfortunate that they kind of neglected that. But don't worry, FG's here for you. Now, this is the way that I choose to level. There's tons of different lines of thought on this. I like to level in Darklight Woods and Hallis. I think they're superior. I think they're just way more fun and engaging zones to level in. So the best way to do this and not get hit in the face by the level wall that you're gonna hit is by doing both zones. Now, remember what I said earlier, back in the days, EverQuest 2, you had to go through several different newbie zones in order to get something done? Well, kind of the same thing here, but not as bad. There's only 2 zones you have to go through. So if you're good, you're gonna start off in Hallis. And this is what you should do. In Hallis, get to about level 6 or 7, whenever you feel like you're starting to get quests that are just a little too high level for you. And then, after that, you know what you need to do? Is come to Darklight Woods and start questing over here instead. It doesn't matter if you're good or evil, you can quest in these zones and get all of the quests regardless of your faction. Now, you do have to be on the lookout for guards, and I'll kind of show you that a little bit later. But you can get all of the quests, doesn't matter if you're good or evil, in these newbie zones. And these zones are designed to go from level 1 all the way through 19. And if you do some intelligent kind of back and forth mixing between these two zones, you will be able to get to level 19 quite easy, or at least to level 11 or 12, maybe even 10. And I'll explain why I'm pointing those levels out here in a second. So if you're a good race, or if you're an evil race, how the heck are you supposed to get all the way over to the other side of the continent? Well, there is this feature called houses. Now, all you have to do is type in /house, and it'll bring up houses. Now, the reason why this is kind of interesting is that people have houses in this little whatever you want to call it, in this screen, in this UI, whatever. It's very out of role playing in this thing, but I'm not gonna judge it. You type /house, and you can instantly teleport to any of these houses, no matter where you are in the game. Why that's important is that some people, quite a few people, will sit in their house and teleport people for tips and likes. This is one of those houses. I'm just using an example, and look at the bottom of my screen right here. Druid and Wizard ports, medium houses #1. So if I click on medium houses #1, I can teleport to this guy's house right now, and he's just teleporting people for likes and tips. That's all he's doing. He's just sitting there teleporting people for likes and tips. So it's quite easy to teleport from the good side to the evil side and vice versa. So don't let that detract you. So once you're about level 7 or so, and you're starting to hit that wall where you can't level and the mobs are too powerful, come over to the evil side or the good side, start leveling over here. Now, once you hit the same exact wall on this side, which you will, unfortunately, the way the levels are tuned is just not very good for the progression server, then all you gotta do is gate back, because you have a gate and you're gonna be bound to your faction side. So then you gate back, and then you start picking up the quest right where you left off. You're gonna be more powerful because you gained a few levels. You should be able to go back and finish the quest that you weren't able to do before you left. And you'll keep doing that back and forth. You shouldn't have to do it more than just like maybe. You should be able to do it one time on your side, one time evil side, then one time good side. That's all you should really have to do. And you should have enough levels in order to have enough power to go to the very first dungeon, which is Wailing Caverns, and or Black Barrel. Sorry, I couldn't remember. And then if you can get inside of a dungeon group, you're sitting pretty, because then you can kind of bypass levels. And let's say you get a dungeon group and you're like level 10, you get a dungeon group and you get to kind of sneak out to about level 13 or so, maybe even 14 if you're in a nice group. Then you can go back to whichever zone you feel comfortable with, and you shouldn't have any problems. You just need to be able to supplement that experience with something. And a dungeon is really good, but you can't do any dungeons till you're about level 10 or so. So yeah, that should help. So if that makes any sense at all, I'll kind of give you guys a recap. When you go to Hallis, get to the point where you feel that you're hitting a wall. Get yourself a teleport, go to the evil side, start doing the newbie quest right from the very beginning. Like you just started an evil character, start doing the newbie quest. They're not boring, I assure you. They're very engaging, they're very quick. These zones were designed much later in the life of EverQuest 2, so they're just a little bit, way more, they're designed quite better than the previous zones in the past. So don't worry about that. Do it back and forth a couple times until you get to at least about level 10 or 11, and then start looking for groups for Black Barrel or for Wailing Caves. You shouldn't have any problems, or Wailing Caverns. I think Wailing Caves is in WoW. Either way, you shouldn't have many problems getting a group, because people are grouping all the time in this game. People are rolling alts. As you can see, I just rolled an alt. So you shouldn't have to worry about getting a group, and no matter what class you are, you should be able to get one rather quickly. Do that. And then once you start getting up to about level, once you complete this zone and you do a few dungeons, you're probably going to be about level 19 or 20. And then from that point on, it's easy. It's cake. You can do Stormhold, you can do Fallen Gate, you can get a few levels in those zones, then move over to Ruins of Varsoon, do a few more of that. Then I would recommend questing in the Enchanted Lands, just like solo questing for a little while as you build up levels to get to Runny Eye. It's all cake from there. Like dungeons are way easier to get levels in. Grouping with people is way easier. It's just that initial 10 levels or so, which sounds like it would blow by, but not in EverQuest 2 and not on this progression server. It takes a little bit of time to get through these zones, and especially if you're not sure what to do, it's really easy to get frustrated when you are trying to fight things that are just way stronger than they should be. So, yeah, there you go. Hopefully that helps. This is my little ranger girl. Just destroying people. Look at that, owning. I'll take that meat. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That's one other thing that I should share with you. So, when you go to the evil side or the good side, whichever side you go to, you will not be able to use the vendors unless you get really lucky and find like a neutral race vendor. There is a gnome here that you can kind of sell to, but once again, if you're new, you're not really going to know that. So make sure that when you come over to this side, you have plenty of bag space. So go to a regular vendor on your side, buy yourself some bags. That way you'll have some bag space because you won't really be able to sell very well when you're on the opposite side. So keep that in mind. But like I said, it's really not that big of a deal. Look at that, just pure. You know, I always talk trash about combat in EverQuest 2, but playing a ranger is pretty fun. Like, I'm actually kind of enjoying a ranger. I'll go through my rotation really quick. So, in stealth, do this little attack that I have to do in stealth. Do a little damage, hold it, do some more damage, wait, just chill. I'm gonna stun, do a sneak attack, which puts me back in stealth, and then do that stealth attack again. Boom, you're dead. I'm not that, oh, level 13, no, I'm not that strong. I can't kill that. All right, and as you can see right now, I'm level 9. The quests that I'm doing are like level 11, 12. This is right after I'm done with these quests. I'm gonna teleport back to Hallis and start doing some of the quests that I had to leave because they were too strong. So kind of practicing what I'm preaching here. Give you a stun, hit you with some arrows to the face. Hit you with another stun, get you the sneak attack. Ooh, like it's not bad, man. It's not bad. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. You know I will talk forever. If you need any help, don't hesitate. Leave me a message in the comments below or give me a private message. It's all good. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully it's not too late because I know the server's about 6 weeks old at this point. So it's still not too late to play though. If you're concerned that the server is like getting older and everyone's going to be at the top levels, right now as far as levels are concerned, most people are probably mid-20s to early 30s. And I can tell that quite easily based off of which dungeons everyone's saying LFG for. So if you play, you know, as many hours as I play this game, you look at LFG quite often and you see which classes are in demand and which dungeons are being asked for. And right now, ROV, which is a mid-30s dungeon or a late 20s dungeon, and Runny Eye are kind of the #1 dungeons that I see people asking for right now. So that's fine. There's not a ton of people at level 40 and 50 right now because I just don't see those dungeons being asked for very often. So it's all good. You got plenty of time, and it doesn't even matter because once the expansion comes out, it's not like everyone's going to be magically level 50. People are still going to be leveling, right? The only pretty much the most hardcore of the hardcore are level 50 at this point. People were level 50 in the first week, so I wouldn't let that detract you if you were thinking about coming to the server. Now, I am officially done with this video. Losing my voice a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it. My name is FG3000. Thank you for joining. This Rotbeak, he don't like me. He don't like the video. He don't like it, but he don't need to like it. Sit down, son. I got one more feather that needs it. Oh, hello. Look at this guy. He's like, hey, I heard you need one more feather to finish your quest. I give you myself as tribute. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Thank you. One more for the video. And here it is. The stun failed. Oh, I thought the stun failed. I got it. Got it just in time. See you later. Smack in the face. I'll take your feather, and on to the quest I go. Anyway, guys, I'm out. See you next video. Later.